If you had to live as one cartoon character for a day, who would you choose?
I think I'm a cartoon character. I often like to use the term my life is two-dimensional. 2D, which is like dancing and dubbing. I dubbed 50, 100 episodes. Black and white Dennis the Menace.
मिस्टर विल्सन आप कहाँ हो सिर्फ देने का लेने का नहीं
Wow, that was so good. How did you land your first project, or how did you step into that field?
So this is a story. Let's go back many years ago.
No.
Just jump into whatever comes your way. I was 11 when I started acting, I was voicing, I was dancing, modeling, radio, television, emceeing, you name it, and all those things, because I never said no to anything.
Your favorite Stranger Things character?
Max.
Like a little surprise.
Little Krishna is something, the animation is so beautiful. It took 9 years to create.
आपको पता है मैं कहाँ पर आया हूँ मैं आया हूँ ईशा वाइब्स में जो है दुनिया का सबसे बेस्ट पॉडकास्ट
Namaskaram and welcome to another episode of Isha Vibes. We are your hosts. I'm Sanika
And I'm Smriti.
and we are representing the voices of Gen Next. Today, we're thrilled to have someone who is a celebrated Bharatanatyam artist, voiceover talent, and creative visionary. With over 20 years of experience, she's performed at global venues, voiced iconic characters like Minnie Mouse, Little Krishna, and even Max from Stranger Things, and created innovative projects like When Walls Down.
And she also happens to be the mom of one of our close friends here at Isha Home School. Please join us in welcoming the incredible, always smiling Prachi Saathi. Prachi Akka, we're so glad to have you here.
Thank you, Namaskaram.
Namaskaram. So, Akka, we know you've done multiple interviews before. This is probably,
Not really.
yes, and podcasts also. What are 3 questions that you really don't like it when people ask?
Wow. I like how this interview begins with what are the questions I don't want to be asked. Honestly, nothing like that. I'm happy to answer any question, every question. And so I often believe one thing, that supposing a question is even a repetition for me, but the audience is always new. So even if the story is repeated, there'll always be somebody in the audience who would have not heard that story. So I don't mind repeating the same things over and over again. And also, it's for me, it's more like a refresher. You relive and, relive that moment which happened again with newer faces. And I'm so excited to be with both of you. It's a very different experience this time. Trust
We're
me.
very excited.
Yeah.
It's almost like, okay, I'm just hanging with you all.
Yeah, I mean, that's what it is. You know.
We were really hoping we could get an answer because we wanted to ask you a question you
The
didn't
worst
like.
one.
Like
Oh
the
my
worst
God.
one.
Then I'm glad I said, I gave a very diplomatic answer. You really have to push in that direction. I find it extremely embarrassing when, okay, you're the voice of Minnie Mouse. And, can you do that for us? I'm like, okay, fine, I shall do it.
Unfortunately, we would ask you that, but we
Yes,
have
I
an
know,
entire
I see
segment.
that coming.
Yeah,
We'll keep
so
that for later. That's
Yes.
still coming.
There's a whole lot
So
of
sometimes when I want to avoid that question, I just say, I get paid to do that. Like that.
That's a good answer. Yeah.
But don't worry. For you guys, anything.
And we'd like to know how, you started Bharatanatyam and how you got into it and things like that.
So I often like to use the term my life is two-dimensional, 2D, which is like dancing and dubbing. What we call voiceover now, I grew up calling it dubbing my entire life, because dubbing was more about, you have the original work and then you just dub over it. Original voiceover started much later. So I've been in the field for almost 30 years now. So I literally was at the inception. But since you asked about dancing, so these are the 2 pathways that I've been parallelly trying to balance. And it's a lot of fun. And it's amazing how both of them complement each other so beautifully. So asking about dancing, I was not that child, I was 2 and I loved dancing and I was, born to be a dancer, nothing like that. My mother was interested in dancing. And that's the story with most people, their mums are more interested in something, and which is why they push the child in a certain direction. Thankfully, this child happened to take to it and like it, because she tried with my sister. It failed miserably. Like, my sister just left in 1 year. But with me, I kind of enjoyed it. I'm also a very sincere student. So if you give me a task, I will ensure I do it correctly, whether I love it or I don't, which is, I think it is a quality which everyone should try and imbibe, because at least in that sense, you start experiencing something new, even if you don't like it. And a major shift happened for me on the day of my Arangetram. So I went through the training for like 6, 7 years, rigorous training. My teacher was very strict. I mean, I would dread going to class. And I even remember there's a very funny incident, and I haven't shared this on any podcast. And my mom, if she's watching this, she's going to laugh. The day she took me to Nalanda for, so they had an audition that if you want to get admission in Nalanda, you have to first come and give sort of a test. And I knew, I found out sneakily she's going to take me there. And I wasn't ready. I didn't want to go to that class like a proper school. I decided to wear one nice short skirt and a top, because I know you can't do Bharatanatyam in a short skirt. And my mom said, no, no, we are not going there. We are going to some other place. I'm taking you shopping, something, something. But she kept saying, but why are you wearing this? Wear something else. I said, no, I will wear this. You know how? You also must be doing all this with your mom. So then anyway, she didn't give up. She took me to Nalanda wearing what I was wearing, and the teacher there just asked me a few questions. She just said, okay, fine, this is how we are going to be. Can you show me one step, tattara or something, because I'd learned something. And I was like fuming, and I was doing that one tattara there. And then I got admission. That's it. So nothing I did worked with my mom, and thankfully, there are days when I pick up the phone and I just call her and I say, thank you, mom, for not giving up on me. Because had she given up that day, I don't think I would have been here and talking about this today.
I can relate. Actually, I've been doing Bharatanatyam for around 4 years now. And even my mom, she used to be a dancer, so she kind of wanted me to do it. And in the beginning, also, I really didn't want to go to classes. And motivation for me is also a little bit of a struggle, even now. So, what advice would you have for people like my age and me?
Just jump into whatever comes your way. And that has pretty much been my mantra, because growing up, when I look back at the childhood, I would say my major part of my childhood, I was 11 when I started acting, I started voicing, I was dancing, I got into movies, I tried modeling, I tried radio, television, emceeing, you name it, and all those things, because I never said no to anything. And I think that life will often send such surprises, but at the same time, if you're somebody who says, you know what, I don't think I'm ready for this yet, that you will never be ready. The idea of perfection, or the idea of, you know what, I will do this next year because I will be better next year. But next year you'll be better than what you were today. But what you do today will add to that perfection that you're looking for next year. So my go-to advice always is, if something comes your way now, just take it, and you keep bettering whatever that you're doing as you go along. That waiting never helps.
No, I think in context of Bharatanatyam, I'd be more of your sister who never actually made it.
This is something that I tell people who say like this, who've learned dance a little bit, they learn to appreciate it a lot more. So as many artists we also need those many art appreciators, or rasikas as we call. So I think there has to be a good balance.
Akka, as we know, your mom is the one who got you into Bharatanatyam. So, were your parents always in the creative field, and is that how you got into it? Does it run in the family?
And the answer to that is a no. My mom was always interested in theatre. So in her college days and everything, she tried. But she's obviously coming from a generation that looked down upon all of these things, or did not, let's say, not look down, because her family didn't look down, but it's just that they didn't get that kind of support that she would have appreciated at that age or stage. And it was something that, girls just got married so early. She was, what, 19 or 20 when she got married. So there was something inside that she always, she had that love for. And I think she just transferred all of that into me, and everything that I'm doing today, I can only and only offer my gratitude to her. And I remember growing up, we didn't have help, we didn't have, so my entire family came together to make everything happen. So turns out that when I would go for my shoots, which was, so I remember I was in my 10th grade giving my board exam and I was shooting for a film. This was Pardes, which was with Shah Rukh Khan, by the way. And that was my first proper mainstream film. And when we were shooting, we had to travel. So there was Fatehpur, there was Mysore, there was Lonavala, like many outdoor shoots. And my mom always had to be with me because, I was so young. I mean, obviously, she's not going to let me go alone. So who's taking care of home? So my sister would pitch in. She would be, taking care of home, cooking. My dad was always, he's an independent man. He does most of his things on his own. So they would manage the house. She would be with me. And there have been days, 20 days, we're just out traveling. So I think for any person to really achieve success in life, it's so important to have the complete family support. And even now, after marriage, after I got married, children, everything. Of course, kids were here in homeschool, so that gave me a lot of time later. But that was never the plan. They were never really sent here so I could get free time. It just so happened that after they went to school, I was like, okay, now I need to do something with my time. I have so much time on hand. That's when dancing took up full time. Till then, it was everything was like part time. Voicing happened simultaneously because voicing as a career option is so fantastic because it gives you so much leeway, liberty, flexibility. Because I get to choose when I go for my recordings, I get to choose my time, day, date. If I'm not there, if I'm traveling, I just say sorry for a week, we are not able to do this, and everything gets accommodated. So I love my voicing field because it's so cool.
Akka, you've done a lot of performances here at Isha Home School. You've done voiceover workshops for the juniors. How has been your experience at Isha Home School?
Apart from the fact that I really enjoy coming to Isha Home School for multiple reasons, I really enjoy interacting with children. So this is something now I don't know if it's got to do with the child voices that I do. I started as a child and then I kept growing, but there was something within me that always made me feel like I'm still a child. I don't know how that is viewed, but it's not that I care much about it. But I think it's also important to kind of nurture your inner child. Well, I take inspiration from people around because when I look at such individuals, I think it's beautiful how they conduct themselves because life throws so many serious situations at you and you're like so bogged down and you start taking it too seriously. And I think Sadhguru also says that, don't take life too seriously. So I think it's very important to nurture that inner child, keep that level of joy within, and interacting with children is the best way to do that. Because the minute you look at them, there is something about them that instantly ignites that within you. So that's my primary, inspiration to come here, to meet, which is why if you notice, I'm always doing voice workshops with the junior school. They are the cutest. As they get older, they become weird.
Okay.
Oh, okay. And also, in my very unbiased opinion, we do have the best campus in the
Yes,
world.
absolutely.
So,
I mean, look at this paradise. Anyone who walks into the Isha Homeschool gates, they'll be like, wow, it literally, you take a breath away.
yeah.
And again, voicing is something, like I said, I enjoy. I enjoy sharing a lot of tips. And here there's so much scope because you guys, you just get things so easily. You'll understand everything because I think your training is such, the way y'all are trained, the way y'all are taught things. Even this entire podcast, I think is a great initiative just for you to come out, talk to professionals, see how you can engage with them, communicate. Because I think communication is the key to success. If you are a good communicator, half your battle is won.
How did you get your kids to come here, and where did Isha Homeschool come as an option?
So once we did inner engineering with Sadhguru, which was in 2011, automatically there was curiosity about where the ashram is, or somewhere in Coimbatore. We had no idea. But I remember in 2011, 12, somewhere around 13 maybe, I don't remember very clearly, I came here straight into school. So my first visit to the ashram was straight into school with Sanjukta Wagh.
So the best part.
So I came here with Sanjukta for a workshop and she was conducting a dance workshop and she said, come, just come and assist me, hang around, we'll, have fun. And I was blown just by everything that I saw here. I said, I didn't even know there's a school like this that exists. There's just nature, there are these beautiful peacocks all around, there's no pollution, there's so much quiet, and no mobile phones. I was like, this is wonderful. And then that's when I think that feeling started, coming up that, okay, maybe we should consider. It wasn't an easy decision. Believe me, just the thought of sending children away was like, how are we going to do this? But then sometimes you just have to prioritize what is important for your child more than what is important for me. And more often than not, I think parents also want to have their children for their own comfort. It's only once you send them to Isha Home School you realize not only are they blossoming beautifully here in this environment, you are also able to make something so productive out of your own life. As a woman or as a mother, I would say a large part of every woman's life is just spent in caregiving. Whether it is for the family, whether it is for the children, nothing wrong with that. And kudos to the women who are able to do that. But if you really probe them and if you ask them, there will be something within them that will tell them that, yeah, but what have I done for my own growth? Or what have I done for myself? And if there are women out there who are managing to take care of family and everything and run a successful career, again, that's like a tightrope walk. You know what I mean? Like somewhere something's got to give. So I think in my case, it was just the most beautiful arrangement where kids are here, they are taken care of, they are doing fantastically well. Like Art and Pari, both of them, you know them. They're doing well in studies, they're doing well in extracurriculars, and we are doing well in our professions as well. And but the key to success, and this is like my regular spiel because I think I answer some 3 to 4 calls in every few months just talking to parents who wish to send their children to Isha Home School. And this is the key that I give them, that when they come home, drop everything. It cannot be that through the year while they are away you're busy, and then when they come back home also now you've gotten used to being busy, so now it's like, okay, sorry, but I have this project and I can't take that up. So there have been times when Rajesh Anna and me both have given up really amazing opportunities in life so that we can spend that vacation with children. And I think that's the balance that we have to strike.
Speaking of Isha Home School and speaking of your children, speaking of Pari, we thought we'd call her here to have a little chat.
Like a
So,
little surprise.
Please welcome Pari.
And the pink is here.
Maybe you didn't follow the dress code.
Thank you for
Where
this
is it?
pleasant surprise. You know, I was actually telling her, Pari, why aren't you interviewing me? And then I said, then I'm thinking to myself, I didn't say, okay, she'll just say, Mom, I already know that. Mom, I already know that. Pari, what new are you going to ask me?
Buddy's actually not going to be doing the asking.
You do that to me also.
We were planning this in the beginning, in the morning, and Pari's like, when should I come? And I was like, I actually don't know. And
Because we don't know when it's going to get over, when it's going to come in. So she's just been like hanging around
Yeah.
here waiting.
She didn't tell me anything.
It's a
yeah,
surprise.
surprise.
Oh, nice
Yeah.
surprise.
Yeah. So now that we have you both here, we're going to ask you a few questions about Pari. But before that, could you talk a little bit about, you mentioned that when your children come home for vacation, you like to drop everything and spend time with them. So what's your favorite ways to spend time with them?
Pari will answer that.
Oh
I
my
love
God.
watching movies with Pari.
No, she falls asleep in 2 seconds. She falls asleep in the starting credits and then I have to wake her up every 2 seconds.
No
Don't
way.
tell them about the time we were watching a funny movie.
One time, every time you do this, you do this every
Do
time.
you watch the movie though, or is she?
Oh, yeah, we were watching a funny movie, so I'll be like, Mom, did you see that? And then she's asleep and then she'll wake up, she'll just laugh. The person is dying, okay? And then she'll just get up and she'll start laughing. Like, what?
I'm not sure that I'm watching the film.
It's a whole scam.
Always asleep and and she's like, Mom, it's a death scene.
And then you start crying.
No, I'm crying right now because often when I laugh too much, I cry. And Pari does the same thing, you know? It's crazy.
Genetics.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Okay.
No, but actually, I've noticed this even in movie night when I sit next to Pari and I'm asleep, okay, I'm gone. And usually people realize that the person next to you is sleeping. And if something happens in the movie, she'll be like, Smriti, wake up.
So now we'll be having a game, a little game.
Okay.
So it's a segment called How Well Do You Know Pari?
I am doomed.
Yeah, you're doomed.
That's exactly what Pari was telling
You
us.
have to do that real like kacha 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 kacha. You have to show like that crash.
No, when I told Pari in the morning only, she's like, oh no, she's doomed.
Okay, let's see. I
Yeah,
might
we'll
surprise
see.
you.
So how it'll work
Huh.
is we'll ask you the set of questions that are about Pari, and both of you will answer at the same time, and you'll just have to pray that you get the same answer as Pari.
Okay, I'm
Okay.
so losing this, but let's give it a shot.
And since we were talking about movies, the first question is, what is Pari's favorite movie?
I also movie must say genre or something. Movie.
I don't know, whatever is more like,
Pari watches
you have a better shot at.
That's the problem. Yeah, like Pari watches anything and everything. But if you ask
Okay, if you're genre, yeah, maybe.
Genre.
Okay,
fine.
okay,
Let's
okay,
keep
okay,
it
okay.
genre.
3.
Wait, no, wait.
Are you both ready?
yeah, I'm ready.
Okay.
You ready, Par?
Don't look there.
Don't look there. 3, 2, 1, go.
What was that? Are you going to say horror?
No. I want to say animated movie. That's like. But I like animated movies and then I like horror movies.
Okay. I saw horror. You always want to watch these scary movies.
Yeah, but every time
Basically,
you're
we
asleep.
lost.
Okay.
So the next question is, what is Pari's favorite subject?
Art.
Art.
You're supposed to scream.
Art.
We got it right.
Awesome.
Okay.
It's a better recovery from the first question.
Okay. Next question. This is like an in-between one. This time you have to wait till I say 3, 2, 1. Okay. So, what is Pari's go-to place to shop? Okay.
Wait, 1 second. I have to think about it.
Pari, do you know?
Pari,
I know.
yeah. Okay.
Okay,
Fine.
I think I know.
3, 2, 1, go.
Art station. H&M. Okay, H&M is more realistic though. Like,
Yeah,
I think-
H&M is
Stop being very like proper and correct.
I'm not being
Be
proper.
real.
Okay.
Okay, great. We are
We're losing
1 out
like-
of 3.
Okay.
Pari, I knew I was losing this before we started.
Oh, okay.
Okay, next question also, I think it's easy.
Okay.
So, what is Pari's favorite food?
3, 2, 1.
Sushi. What?
Close, we're in the same genre.
It's the same cuisine. I think it's pretty close.
Same. But sushi is the same. The ramen,
It's a nice
sushi ramen.
What is Pari's biggest fear?
I don't know.
Okay,
Okay,
worst
then we can go.
Me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pari, say me.
You, yeah, sure.
See? I proved it right.
Okay, dream vacation. 3, 2,
I know this.
1, go.
Japan.
Awesome. At least we're ending on a good note.
Yeah, we're ending on a
Okay.
nice note.
Just let's shake it.
Dab me up. That's okay.
Got that.
Okay, so segment over. Pari, thank you so much for joining us and
Thank
for
you
the
so much for
very
having me.
wholesome mom and daughter moments. I think you have Bio Plus now.
Okay, bye.
Thank
Bye.
you for the surprise.
Yep.
Thank you.
Okay, so Akka, now we're going to talk about your many talents, starting with Bharatanatyam. Could you tell us about your very first stage performance?
So my very first stage performance clearly was the Arangetra, and like I shared a little earlier that we had to go through a lot of rigor. It was 1 year of rigorous practice and practice and practice, by the end of which I was like, I can't wait to be done with this, and after this I'm just never going for dance class, because I was really like, okay, that's it. And you won't believe this, the day of the Arangetram, I was fine, okay, done. The next day, there was a shift. Something within had shifted. I didn't even realize what happened. I was just sitting, on my own, and I was feeling that huge vacuum, like a big void. And then I realized that what the rigor actually did was, it instilled something very fundamental, which was necessary, or which is necessary for anyone to take it to the next level. So the first performance is very, very special, because that's the Arangetram, you work towards it. But when you are in that grind, when you are in that drill, you just find it so difficult, you find it so, the teacher is on your case all the time, correcting you, fixing you for that day. Not realizing till you finish that day that, oh my God, did I actually do that? Did it actually happen? Because you've given like a full length performance, which is almost 1.5 to 2 hours long at times. And then you are on the other side. So the first performance in that sense was very special because what I thought I'm never going to do after that day is something that I love doing, and I've been doing it now since then. So 99 was my Arangetram, and since then I haven't looked back. So that was special.
Akka, you're known for conceptualizing one-of-a-kind performances like when waltz dance, where Varli art, Bharatanatyam, and animation all come together so seamlessly. So let's watch a small clip from it.
Named after me. Some years later, I would realize that it was the other way round. When walls dance. Walls have ears.
Akka, your work is really unique. Smriti and I have actually watched a couple of clips from it. Where do you draw inspiration from for all these creative ideas?
So this particular work, if I share about, there was this one day I was doodling some choreography in my book, and I realized that when you draw Bharatanatyam figures, you're drawing them like stick figures. So if you've learned a little bit of Bharatanatyam, you would have seen, when you draw your choreography,
Yeah.
and I can never write my choreography, I have to draw it. So as I sat doodling, I realized that these figures actually look like Varli art, and that was the seed of the idea. And since then, after that, I got into heavy research. Luckily, COVID happened in that sense. Why I say luckily is because it gave me a lot of time and mental space to really deep dive into that work. So I developed a story around it. I visited the Varli village. I spoke to the people. We incorporated all their inputs. We observed their lifestyle, and we realize how the Varlis, they are the tribal indigenous tribes, and how they are so close to nature. And Mumbai also is facing this whole thing with deforestation and urbanization. And I remember Sadhguru's line very clearly where he keeps talking about how ecology and economy can coexist or must coexist. So if we talk about, yes, we need to build that flyover, is there another space that we can plant trees? And then, of course, we have the Safe Soil, we have Rally for Rivers, we have these green hands, we have so many of the projects that Isha Foundation is doing in that respect. And I think all of that information was there as a subtext for the work that I was doing. And I wanted to tell the story of this young girl, Champa, who lives in the Varli village, and she has this one friend, which is a champa tree. And then what happens? Of course, this is a production I would urge everyone to watch, including children, adults, change makers, the society at large, because it really talks about a very crucial topic about how we need to coexist. And the tribals, they really are important for us because they are the ones who are taking care of the soil, they are the ones who are taking care of the trees, and we need them. We cannot survive without them. The other inspiration for, I would say, is about the animation aspect. So my major goal, so like you said, multi-talent is one thing, but I also have a multi-vision in terms of what I want to do for Bharatanatyam, what I want to do as an individual, what I want to do as an artist. So all of these kind of converge in this piece because I also want to build audience for classical dance. As we know, classical dances, I wouldn't say are getting unpopular. There is a certain segment of society that follows it, is a discerning audience, everything is in place, but there's a younger generation that might drift away. There's a lot of Western influence that we have. So how do we keep them rooted? How is it that we bring more focus to our art forms? And I feel we need segue points, we need inroads into our art forms. And when waltz dance becomes like a nice inroad to work, which is in the classical dance space, but at the same time it's appealing because there's animation, there is dance, there is costume, there's so much of that happening. And once I often like to give this example, which is very interesting about, do you remember the first time you tried sushi?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you like it?
No,
Exactly.
I didn't.
Then there is something like the first time you tried a sarson ka saag. I tried sarson ka saag for the first time, and there was so much fantasy around it. Oh, you have to eat sarson ka saag. I ate it and I was like, oh, what is this? You don't like it. But then the second time you have it and you're like, okay, you know what? I didn't like it the last time. Let me try it because everyone's saying it's so good. There
Yeah.
must be something in it. You try the second time and okay, the last time I didn't like it, but this time it's not like I don't like it as much as I didn't like it the last time. And then you have it, and then you don't realize that day has arrived when you love it. What happened? You acquired a taste. So anything that is of great content, which is something which is made with a lot of, let's say, I don't know what it is made of. I can't define that, but something that has a lot of value, you don't like it. It's not like instant food. Like a French fry, anyone will like anytime. It's instant. Anything that is instant is no good. Anything that takes time to cook, anything that takes time to understand is something that you should stay with. So I feel like we need segue points to come into the form of classical dance. And once you start watching, you realize this is something I really enjoy. So that was my intent behind creating When Walls Dance. So bringing technology, bringing the Varli art, bringing Bharatanatyam together, and creating a piece that kind of builds everything together.
And I think that's also a good way because, I mean, it's kind of obvious, but bringing the technology aspect of it will really include this whole new generation also. And I think it'll do
Absolutely.
such a wonderful job. And
And kids, particularly kids, I see a lot of children who are attracted, and for them it's like, oh, this is Bharatanatyam. We thought it was only a Varnam or a Padam or a Tilana, but there is something, because please understand, Bharatanatyam is a language. It is not, it is an art form, yes, but it is a language. Exactly like how you use any other language to communicate, you use Bharatanatyam to communicate. Now, whether you tell a story of Champa from the Varli tribe, or about a woman who is a CEO of a corporate office, or you tell about, or talk about a Naika who is from the courts back then in like 2000 years ago, it doesn't matter. You're telling the story using that language.
And also something I've noticed is that the animation aspect of it will really add like I had this small art class where like it was a few set of classes where we learned about Indian dance. And so we learned about the Navarasas and everything. And before the performance, our teacher actually told us, like, gave us a small brief on, what the performance is. So once you start understanding it, you can see it literally come alive.
Absolutely.
And so I think animation really would enhance that.
Yeah, and animation really
art
catches
also.
like the eye of many people
And
our
the
age.
animator who's created the animation for When Walls Dance is one of the most sought after animators, Upasana Natoji. She's the one who's created animation for FIFA, for the new airport. Like, she does a lot of these wonderful projects. And she has poured her heart and soul into this work. And I cannot thank her enough for this work, because the way we came together. And do you know what is the best and the funniest part about this entire project? We worked on it for 4 years through COVID, and the first time we met was the day of the show.
No way.
Yes, way. So we only worked over Zoom. Like, I would send her my choreography, then she would animate it, then we would exchange everything. We would have, of course, long hours on Zoom. Lot of that happened, but we never met. And the day we met, we were like, okay, I can't believe we are seeing each other in person, because we were just out of COVID then. And that's it. So this is the magic of technology, but if used in the right way. So there are these ill effects and the good things about technology, but if used the right way, even social media, like I get asked this question so many times, what are your thoughts on social media? If you're able to handle social media the right way, it is the best thing that you have. Again, I keep referring to Sadhguru because he talks about so many amazing things, and I think he's like a library of fantastic things. If you just listen to some of his conversations, Youth and Truth, Rajesh keeps saying this to Earth all the time. If you want to learn everything that is to learn, just watch all episodes of Youth and Truth. So coming back to technology, if used and social media, if used in the right way as a tool to push your work, what is this podcast about? It's all about that. You're using technology and social media the right way. Kudos.
Yeah.
Akka, our amazing research team tells us that you also performed at the Royal Festival Hall in London, and you did Pandit Ravi Shankar's only opera,
Yes.
Sukanya. So, can you tell us a little bit about that?
So I have this famous quote, okay? It says, "What is luck? What according to you is luck? Tell me."
I think luck is. I don't really believe in it, honestly.
Okay, what about you?
I
What is
think
luck?
it's getting an opportunity you didn't expect, and
Yeah, it's kind of like the more opportunities you get, the more luck you have.
Okay. Trying to be very right, huh? Yeah. Okay. So this is what I read somewhere. This is not my own quote. It says when opportunity meets preparation. So luck is what happened when I was prepared, I was in form and everything, and then an opportunity landed. Somebody else was chosen for that part. Somebody else was supposed to do that part. But it so happened that she could not do it because there was a wedding in the family, and then as luck would have it, and because I was prepared, I landed with this opportunity, and it was one of the most beautiful experiences of my life because this is the first time you were, of course I had to choreograph the pieces and everything. I had to work really hard because it was this intense piece and very fast, and I had to work with dancers who were based in London. Then we had these 10 days of wonderful, like you have a rehearsal schedule, you have your own space, you're taken care of well in the hotel, and all of these fantastic things. And then you have your own room with your name written, you're like your green room with the name written, and then it's like this lavish, and somebody's ironing your costume. I mean, I cannot tell you. We were like, okay, we have arrived. Otherwise, you know how we are. We carry our own bags, we iron our own costume, we do our own makeup, everything you do on your own. And you love it also doing that. But that was a different experience. And this was the only opera. The cutest part was there was Sukanya ji who was sitting in the front row and Anushka Shankar, and between both of them was their little pup. And I believe that he or she, I don't know whether he or she, the pup watches every show. And it has been happening since Panditji. Like he would watch Panditji shows also. And I thought that was the most incredible thing. Imagine one like Royal Festival Hall, 3,000 people, and then one center seat is one pup.
That's
So
really cute. Yeah.
but it was a great experience.
Yeah. Akka, you like choreographed Bharatanatyam pieces for this opera, right?
Yes.
But opera and Bharatanatyam are two completely different things. So how did that even work?
So this was an opera which is a musical which was composed by Pandit Ravi Shankar, and it was sitar based with mridangam, percussion, the violin, the whole, there was a a coordinator, conductor, and all of that, and the music was just, it's just brilliant. I mean, it is Panditji's composition. So it was a very sort of a mix of Indian and Western music. So that had jatis, it had percussion, it had mridangam, so it had all those elements, which is why there was Kathak and Bharatanatyam also a part of it. So there were other dancers also, and so we kind of choreographed it together.
also just a general question: how did it feel being on such a big stage, and
I was dying.
what were you feeling
I
inside?
was dying. Like I was like that. Because just the first time, but there's something about the music. The minute you hear the music, everything becomes like a blur. It's like, okay, that's it. So there was a phase in my life where I used to dread getting on stage. I used to be so nervous. But now I've reached a point where I'm excited to get on stage. Like I feel like, okay, when is this going to start? Like I can't wait for it to start. It's like that. And then you don't want it to get over. So I think that change and that shift takes some amount of
But I think it would be an
practice.
awesome thing. Like even now when I get on stage, I'm like all nerves and I'm so
I
nervous.
know. But that's a good thing. If you are not nervous, I think it's not healthy, according to me. I feel like you need those little jitters because that keeps you alert, attentive, and at the
Definitely.
same time confident.
So I mean a good amount of that.
Yes.
Yeah, it's like everything. Like
It-
it should be
it has to be-
nervousness and excitement.
Exactly. And often in the voicing terminology, we say, don't say I'm nervous. It is just suppressed excitement. So, so it's like this excitement which is like waiting to come out. You're just holding it and then you unleash it.
Also a little bit of fake it till you make it.
Okay, if it works for you.
Yeah.
Whatever works for you.
So, Akka, you had talked about your voice acting. How did you land your first project, or how did you step into that field?
So this is a story. Let's go back many years ago.
No, don't do
Okay, I'm not that old, but this was when I was 11 and I happened to get into this workshop. It was a summer workshop. Simple. My mom didn't want us to be, just hanging around doing nothing. So she enrolled us into Prithvi Theatre Workshop. Have you heard about
I
the Prithvi?
love Prithvi
Yes.
Theatre.
Have you heard? Okay, so
No.
next time you're in Mumbai, you have to come because we have to take you to Prithvi Cafe.
I have actually never been to Mumbai.
Then you must
Shuja has
come to
asked me
Mumbai.
so many times to come, so
No,
I'll
so you
visit
must.
sometime
Next
soon.
trip,
Done,
we have to
done,
take her
done.
to Prithvi. So Prithvi Theatre is one of the best theatre spaces in Mumbai, and they have the best space for theatre. And we were just going through this workshop, as children, and there happened to be an audition for a film right there. They were looking for child actors. So our conductor is okay. I have a bunch of kids who've enrolled for this workshop. Why don't you audition them? La 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 la. I go for this audition and then I get selected for this movie, which is a children's film. So my very first foray into anything to do with media was with this children's film. It's called Karamati Court. It's you.
I mean, I've seen clips from
Every
it.
child
So cute.
in Mumbai at least has seen the film because the school will take this entire school and then they make them watch this movie because it's a very cute movie about this child who gets a coat and then he puts his hand and then there's a coin and what happens to him after that. Anyway, so I was one of the lead characters in the film, and when I went to dub my own character, I'm talking about 93 now, that those many years ago. We didn't even know what it is like. I had no clue that, okay, now I have to go to the studio and I have to voice dub myself. So I'm doing it like, okay, I'll see the scene, okay, and then the same line. It's me. I have only spoken the line. I know what it is like, and I was doing it. Only later I realized because Rakesh Ranjanji, who was the sound engineer there, he told my mother that this child is doing very well. I'd like to call her for other child voices also because not every child is able to pick it up like how she's doing. So now understand the craft, okay? The craft is the scene is played. Now, the minute the character opens the mouth, I have to speak exactly at that time with the emotion, with the voice, everything, with the pauses. There is no software at that time helping them. Now, with Pro Tools and everything, you can just blindly just blurt it out and the engineer does everything. He can expand it, he can contract it, he can shift it, like everything is done now. But back then we learnt it the hard way because it was pneumatic. So, anyways, but I didn't know anything. I was just doing it just like that. And then, of course, I get called for other TV shows and I get called for movies. And then that's how it just happened, all by chance, all by accident. But again, like I showed up every time. I said yes to whatever came my way. I never know what is this, why, try.
Another crazy thing is that you said you did the workshop in 93.
Hmm.
I did it when I was way younger.
I was going to say, I was not even born then. I'm like,
No, but the crazy thing is that they're still doing
They're
those
still
because
doing
I attended
it.
one of the Prithvi
Yes.
Theatre workshops.
So that is
It's
one
so
of the
nice.
iconic workshops that happen, and there is a queue. There are people who queue up for days or something to get into this workshop. Good. I'm so glad you did
Yeah,
it.
but I don't even remember it. But
Yeah.
I remember having so much fun though.
I think that workshop changed my life. Like
And they used to take you to
whatever.
the beach and everything.
Yeah.
Akka, all the voices that you've done are all amazing, but do you have a favorite?
Like one you're just a little bit more biased to.
Yeah, I love Little Krishna. I think that is one voice that, I'm very critical about my work. Like whatever I see, I'll be like, oh, don't show it to me. No, 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 no. And I think that happens with most people. You tend to get, because you're always analyzing, you're always wondering, is this right? Could I have done it like this? Could I have? But I think Little Krishna is something, the animation is so beautiful. The work that they've put in is so beautiful that it was just a breeze for us to do, because the music is elevating, the visuals are beautiful, and then everything just kind of adds to that. And that is one movie that took 9 years to make.
Really?
So this was one of the first animation projects that happened in India. I remember Reliance at that time was doing this. It took 9 years to create the animation. and the entire film. And then, of course, the series happened. And I think there are some millions of views on those TV shows. There are people who call me and we listen to you every morning. I'm like, okay, thank you.
Even I have memory of watching Little
Watching, I
Krishna.
know.
Even I've watched Little
Yeah. It's. I think it's there. It's going to stay there forever. That's again another beautiful thing about voicing, that even though whether you continue doing it or not, it's there somewhere. I do normally so many voices at home. They're like, yeah, we hear her
Did they
all the
get fed
time.
up? Did they get fed up of
I
your
hope
voices
not.
at home?
Have you done any like crazy mimicry pranks on people?
Oh yes!
Really?
Oh my god. So this one time I remember I had a full-blown conversation with my mom as if I'm Pari. And she totally believed. And at the end of it, I said, okay, mom, it's me. काय सांगतेस तू मी तुला ओळखलंच नाही. So I can actually prank my own mom by, either imitating my Arth I can't anymore.
But
But
when he
there
was
was a
younger?
point, yes.
Oh,
At one
awesome.
point I could imitate him as well.
You can even switch in between, like, oh, this is Pari and this is Arjun.
I may have done that also. But another very funny episode when it came to voicing, I remember many years ago when we used to book tickets on the phone. You couldn't book movie tickets like there were no apps. So you had to call the theater or whatever that booking line was, and this is a movie we were watching. It was an adult film. So I'm booking tickets. हाँ, so हमको 2 ticket चाहिए. बेटा ऐसे नहीं करते. चलो मम्मी को फोन दो. मैं मम्मी हूँ. That guy refused to believe that I'm a full grown adult and a mother, and he just said नहीं बेटा ऐसे नहीं करते, मम्मी को फोन दो. I'm like, okay, I have to sound older while I'm talking to him. So it was for a long time an effort for me to sound my age. And another funny incident related to this was I started modeling very early, which was maybe I was 16, 17 when I may have done my first ad. They never called me to dub my own self because they said, ma'am, sorry, but your voice doesn't suit your face. I'm like, that is tragic because I sound younger and then I looked older. So when that's how modeling works. They always cast younger people and then make them look slightly older. So there was a phase where I would never be dubbing. So there'll be a child in the film, I will go and dub for the child.
No way.
Yeah, and someone else will come and dub for me. So it was very funny.
So now that we talked about voicing, we want to have a little bit of fun.
Okay.
So how this is going to work is we're going to play a little game. We're going to show you the screen. There'll be a dialogue and a character.
Okay.
So you're going to have to match the character's voice and say that dialogue.
Wow, that's fun.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay,
Let's see.
so we'll show you the first one.
You made my job easier. Okay, one more clarity here. Of course, these lines are English, but I am the voice of Peppa in Hindi.
Hindi, yeah.
So what would also be relatable is if I say the line in Hindi, because the English voice is obviously the original, which is somebody from UK. So Peppa is usually, her signature line is,
हाय, मेरा नाम है पेपा. ये है मेरा भाई जॉर्ज. ये है मामा पिग और ये है डैडी पिग. और मुझे मिट्टी के गड्ढों में खेलना बहुत पसंद है.
Oh, that was so good.
I can't believe it. Like,
It's very unreal,
Yeah.
seeing it happen because we just hear it, but seeing someone like this change their
all
voice.
grown up auntie,
No,
akka.
Not like that.
oh, but it's crazy. Like, I can't believe that it's coming out of you.
I know.
Like,
Yeah, and like seeing someone change voices so much.
so much.
Okay, what's
Okay,
next?
next.
What's next?
तारीख पे तारीख, तारीख पे तारीख, मिलती गई माय लॉर्ड, पर इंसाफ नहीं मिला. ओह मिकी, प्लीज मुझे इंसाफ चाहिए. ओह.
I don't know if I can take this. Like, it's so interesting.
So
to watch you.
amazing, yeah.
Like, just switch.
The other key I realize is if you haven't asked for any pro tips, but I'm giving them just
No,
like
no,
that
No,
without
we
you asking.
want them, yes.
If you really want to develop your voice skills, communication skills, what is essential is read aloud and read a lot. So read a lot, read aloud. So usually this is what happens. I don't know, nobody sends the script home. I get a script on the spot and I just have to read and do the characters. Now I know the character, it's there in my DNA somewhere. So, but I could just read and go with the flow. So a lot of times because of shorthand formats, short messaging format, We are losing touch with languages. We are losing touch with regional languages. And I think it is so essential to, if you know your mother tongue, I will bow down to you. Because the new generation, I'm really concerned about. The parents speak the regional languages, but the children are not speaking those. And it's highly concerning because we are losing on our languages. And everything, this is related to language. So if you really want to get better at these kind of activities and be multilingual, languages you have to learn.
So next up we have Max from Stranger Things.
Max. So Max, if you honestly ask me, I'm Max. So I don't change anything. This is just how Max sounds.
Okay.
So Lucas, तुम क्या कर रहे हो? मुझे इस सब के बारे में कुछ नहीं पता और मैं नहीं जाना चाहती वहाँ पे. So how it also works, now I'll explain another difference. There is animation and then there is real
Real life,
action.
yeah.
So real action, it's real characters. The microphones these days are so phenomenal that like even they sniff and it'll get recorded. Like I can't wear this jing jing ring and all, nothing. I have to be no jewelry, nothing.
Really?
Like even if I rustle, even this cloth movement will get recorded. They are so sensitive. And we are even recording all these micro things that happen. And real action is fun because it's so real and it's almost like this my normal voice.
So would you say real action is easier to do than
No, everything has its own challenges, everything has its own comfort. So there is this character called Obo Chama, and it is a Japanese animation character. And that guy just talks. Like there'll be like thousands of words. And by the end of it, I'm exhausted. And it's like high energy all the time, la la la. Okay, that should be easy for me considering I'm always so high energy. But it is a very demanding character. So every time I go for the dub, I'm like, okay, I can do this. So, so some characters are like that. Max is a breeze because she's so real. She's so close to me. I feel like, okay, that's how I would react in situations. So things like that. So that's,
Next up we have
oh my God, where did you find this guy? Oh my God, Dennis the Menace. I dubbed, I don't know how many, 50, 100 episodes of this, the black and white Dennis the Menace. It was many years ago.
मिस्टर विल्सन आप कहाँ हो? ओह टेंशन मत लो मिस्टर विल्सन, सिर्फ देने का लेने का नहीं.
Something like that.
last but definitely not least your favorite one? We have
Let me
have
guess.
drumroll.
Oh yes, this is my. Oh.
मैया मुझे थोड़ा सा माखन दे देना मैया, मुझे बहुत भूख लगी है. देखो ना ये गोपियां मुझे छेड़ रही हैं, मैं नहीं जाऊंगा उनके साथ. आपको पता है मैं कहाँ पर आया हूँ? मैं आया हूँ ईशा वाइब्स में, जो है दुनिया का सबसे बेस्ट पॉडकास्ट.
Wow, the improv is also so good.
yeah. It's crazy how you're able to just see a dialogue and just apply the voice to it.
I wish I wish.
You're
I had
making me
this talent.
feel so good.
So Akka, you balance many careers like modeling, voiceover acting, Bharatanatyam. Have you ever faced any rejections or setbacks, and how do you deal with that?
Lots. I think rejection is just a part of the learning curve. And when you face rejection, you just have to, first of all, not mull over it. Oh, I got rejected. It's part of the deal. And it is never something that reflects your talent or your capability. That you have to understand that. And that applies the same whether it is a modeling job or an acting job or a voicing job. Or even for that matter, a dance performance if you don't get selected for a particular role. But that does not mean that you stop working on yourself, because there is some role and there is a part that's designed for you. Never cease to be a student. The day you think I'm the best and I know it all and I'm the master of all of this, I think that's it. That's doomsday, because you've just completely curbed your learning process. And even today, every time I walk into the studio, I'm so excited about what role is it going to be this time? How am I going to do this in the best possible way? I always look up to my directors for direction. So whether it is something that if they say no, I think we need to do it once more, okay, they must have a very good reason. Even I may feel, but I think I did well. Why are they asking? No, I never question my directors. I always offer suggestions that can we do it like this? Maybe I should try it like that. So your interest and your initiative to better that work is something that also keeps you going and wanting people to work with you. And one more thing that I really strongly believe is that you may be extremely talented, but if you're not a nice person or if you don't have the right work attitude, it's like you're just going to spiral.
And like Sanika mentioned earlier, you do so many things, you juggle so many things, profession and personal life. So, how do you manage it all and how do you manage your time?
Yeah, this is a segment you have to edit for my family, okay? Because my friends and family are now complaining. They're like, okay, now you're like really trying to cram so many things. But the good thing and the key to trying to manage everything is time management. It's a constant jugglery. It's a constant juggling of so many things. But one thing that has really helped me is keeping a list. I work very meticulously. I have a to-do list. I have my calendar. It's a daily calendar with the time. So if there's a recording, then I will write it down instantly so that I don't miss anything. Because it's a profession. You cannot be, I forgot I had a recording today. No, I have to be on time. Punctuality is sacrosanct for me, and that is something that we are constantly fighting over at home because I'm the only one who's always ready before time and always ready to leave on time, ready to be on time. But I think that is something that is taken for granted these days. Even so, there's something I curate called the Art Better. These are all small, intimate performances where we bring artists, we have live performances, and just 50 to 60 people watching arts up close in intimate spaces, which are beautiful. Like, this is a nice space for an art betak. But whenever we say 6:30, we start at sharp 6:30, whether there are 6 people in the audience or 10 or whatever number. Because I feel that person who's reached there at 6:30, he has to be appreciated and his time has to be valued. Punctuality is a virtue which has to be celebrated and appreciated a lot more than it is done in today's scenario.
I'm taking notes because usually I'm late everywhere. So,
And other people who I know. Okay, we shall continue.
yeah, this was very insightful. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
And we have another segment,
Signature Isha Vibes Rapid Fire. Short questions,
quick answers,
no overthinking.
Okay.
So, are you
So-
ready?
Yes, I'm rapidly ready.
So, first question is favorite pop song.
Hindi is allowed, no?
Hindi
yeah,
allowed.
Hindi's allowed.
Yeah.
I won't even know if it is a pop song.
Okay, fine. Favorite song.
Moh moh ke dhage.
Oh, wow. Even I like
I
that song.
love that song. Yes.
Vada pav or pani puri?
Pani puri.
Most famous person in your contact list.
Rama Vaidyanathan.
Your idea of a girl's day out.
Just sit and do nothing.
One voiceover character you think you'd be good at and you'd want to do?
Any lead female, like a heroine. I'm not getting to do any of those. I'm only getting the younger
You got
ones.
Max though. Max is awesome.
Max.
Yeah, Max is awesome. Like
Yeah.
older character.
One Gen Z slang that you just don't get.
Sick. I just don't get. This is sick. Like for sick, for us, like this is sick.
In one phrase, how did Isha change your life?
Completely.
3 things always in your bag.
You can say 300. I am that person. My bag will have everything. But if you ask me 3 things, so the phone, a pen, and a battery pack.
Useful.
What's your favorite food from Bhiksha Hall?
I love everything. But that Sundar,
Oh.
Yeah.
Sundar.
If you had to live as one cartoon character for a day, who would you choose?
Only a day. I think I'm a cartoon character, irrespective. But maybe Minnie. I'd like to live Minnie. Maybe.
What's your guilty pleasure watch?
I rarely, I fall asleep.
fall asleep.
I will just fall asleep. I rarely watch anything. I'm very bad like that.
One emoji that describes you perfectly.
The one that cries
laughing
while
with crying.
I think that's the best one because every time I laugh too much, I'll be like crying. Yeah.
Your favorite Stranger Things character?
Max. Max is cute. And I like her attitude and everything. She's like cool.
She's very girl boss. Yeah. So that was for the rapid fire round.
Did I do okay?
Yeah, you cleared
Okay.
perfectly
Yeah.
with flying colors.
Thank you so much.
Thank you
Thank
so
you
much.
so much for joining us today. Akka, hearing about you and your journey was very, very inspiring.
Yeah, and so many things that you do, the multi-talent and the visions and the art bettaks and the Bharatanatyam. It was
Bas.
And also, we had a lot of fun with you
I
today.
did. I
Yeah,
don't
it
know
was
about you, but
so
I
much
really had a
fun.
lot of fun. Thank you so much
Thank
for
you
having
so much.
me.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Namaskar.